This is Mustafizur Rahman. My ID number is 200076588. Here is my student identification card. I am here to represent Watershed Limited in arbitral proceedings against the government of Tanzania. Now I would like to state the statement of jurisdiction. It is a material to the occurrence of the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and the government of United Republic of Tanzania entered an agreement on 7th January in the year of 1996. The agreement is based on the promotion and protection of investments. The aforementioned agreement was signed with a view to desiring the creation of favorable conditions of greater by investment nationals and companies of one state in the territory of other state. The agreement recognizes the encouragement and reciprocal protections under international agreement of such investment to be conducive to simulation of individuals' business initiatives in order to increase property. Therefore, the bilateral investment treaty 1994 between the United Kingdom and the United Republic of Tanzania will have effected over arbitration. Now I would like to state the facts of that issue. My client, Watershed Limited, is a company based in the UK which specialized in managing water and sewerage globally. On the other hand, the respondent Tanzania has been operating national water policy and water management reforms. Tanzania has forced of stakeholder involvement of various levels. In the year of 2015, my client Watershed Limited was appointed the Tanzania in order to develop its water and sewerage infrastructure. Both the parties entered into a contract and relevant government agencies in the late 2017 to carry out the aforementioned projects. It is to be noted that my client is a UK company operating inside the territory of Tanzania. In the year 2017, local people of Tanzania lodged thousands of complaints against the Watershed Limited. Watershed Limited was allegedly said to have gravely failed in meeting their contractual obligations due to poor mismanagement and financial losses faced by Watershed Limited. The company ceased to continue with the projects as they had intended before. The government agencies of Tanzania failed thrice in the attempt to renegotiate in the contractual teams between Tanzania and my client Watershed Limited. As a result, the government agency of Tanzania issued a notice to my client Watershed Limited where they informed them of termination of their contract. My client Watershed Limited refused to follow through the termination notice and continue to work on the ongoing projects. As a reactions to the failure of Watershed Limited, the local affected by such failure initiates widespread projects. Tanzania government responded to the situation by deporting Watersheds Limited senior management team and appointing their own personals to continue the projects started by my client. Now I would like to state the identifications of issues. In the Article 2, Subarticle 2 of the Bilateral Treaty 1994, hereinafter referred to as BIT 1994, it is stated that investment of nationals or companies will be protected and secured the territory of contracting party. That means the property and offices used the investing party to entitled to all sorts of protection by the contracting party. But the government of Tanzania failed to provide my client Watershed Limited with necessary protection, while the local people were trying to harm their properties. It is actually a breach of Article 2, Subarticle 2 of BIT 1994. In Article 4, Subarticle 1, it is mentioned that the nationals or companies of the contracting party whose investment in the territory of other contracting party experiences any losses due to situations like war, any kind of armed conflict, revolutions, revolt, etc. The investing party should be provided with remedies like restitution, indemnification, compensation, or any other similar settlements. The government of Tanzania, instead of providing my client with any settlement like restitution, indemnification, or compensation, deported the officials party from territory of Tanzania. This is clear breach of Article 4, Subarticle 1. Article 4, Subarticle 2 of the BIT 1994 states that the requisitions of the property of nationals and companies of investing party by the forces or any authorities of the other contracting party will give rise to demand of restitution or adequate compensation. That means the contracting party adequate the property of the property who has invested outside any kind of contractual rights. The investing party will be entitled restitution of other property, adequate compensation. The government of Tanzania, after deporting the senior management teams of Watershed Limited, took over all of its company assets, offices, and warehouse. Here, the government of Tanzania has breached Article 4, Subarticle 2 of BIT 1994. According to Article 5, Sub-Article 1 of BIT 1994, investment of nations or companies of either contracting party has been prohibited to nationalized, expropriated, or subjected to any kind of measure that amounts of nationalizations or expropriations. Here the only expropriation is a public purpose related internal needs of party government of Tanzania by appointing their own personnels and projects of watershed limiteds, and any attempt of nationalizations by running a company which newly appointed personnel would amount of to breach of Article 5 Sub-Article 1. Now I would like to present my arbitration pleadings. On failure to protect the property, assets and offices of Watershed Limited inside the territory of Tanzania, the government of Tanzania be held should be held and responsible for the breach of Article 2 Sub-Article 2. This breach calls for reasonable compensation that would deemed to appropriate depending on the losses incurred. My client Watershed Limited has incurred losses due to incidents of rebels and rebellion by the locals on the investing company. According to Article 4 Sub-Article 1, my client can demand restitution, compensation, indemnification, or any similar kind of settlement from the government of Tanzania. The settlements should be done in a way that resulting payment shall be freely and transferable. Since the party of Watershed Limited was acquired by force and authorities of the government of Tanzania, my client is subject to restitutions or adequate compensation proportionate to the properties acquired by the other party. The transfer of such restitution or compensation shall be freely transferable. The expropriation of investment national or companies of either contracting parties has been declared void in Article 5 Sub-Article 1. The affected party, my client Watershed Limited, hold all the right to deemed for prompt review of any judicial independence authority to evaluate the valuation of a compensation resulted from the expropriation. My client Watershed Limited therefore asking the arbitration council to take all the to all the initiate. Thank you.